Welcome to Child Abuse Awareness with Darlene J. Clark.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Child Abuse Awareness with Darlene J. Clark. Be a part of the solution instead of part of the problem. Sit together and get the job done, protecting our kids. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips and balance in favor of fair use. Thank you so much to a friend of mine that I've known a lot of years who went ahead and let me know on this about this information. Good morning, Carlene. Good to see you. Let me write this down. How are you doing today? Let me get to the banners over here. But whoso shall offend one of these little ones which believe in me, it were better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck, and that he were drowned in the depths of the sea. So a lot of times I go ahead and say, a lot of people say, how about cutting off the guy's membrane or such and such? And I go, how about we just tie a millstone around their necks and throw them to the depths of the sea, just because of this Bible verse here. Learn to do right, seek justice, defend the oppressed, take up the cause of the fatherless, be the case of the widow. I'm going ahead and put trigger warning just in case. I'm glad you're doing good. I appreciate you for coming in. In Albertville, Alabama, they arrest 6 and a child sex exploitation sting. Before we get to Lynn's story, I want to give you one in 2024 when they arrested 5 in a sex sting because there's pertinent information that they have shared that they're not saying in this sting operation, all right? When you go back and here's where it said they're everywhere. 5 arrested on child exploitation charges in Albertville. And that was February 27th, 2024. They're everywhere. See that? That is very imperative to know. It said police said the men were allegedly in communication with what we believed to be children, what they thought was believed to be children, through texting and phone calls to engage in unlawful sex acts. These kinds of people are in our community. They're everywhere, Carty said. And we don't have to have a tip or anything. We know they're out there. Basically, you just set up an operation and they come. Well, technology has made child sex crimes easier. Covenant Rescue CEO Jared Hudson said it has also made the crimes also easier to detect. We have the ability to be more easily connected, so that might make it easier, but I don't think it's more rampant. I just think it's more easily accessed, said Hudson. Marshall County Sheriff Bill Sims said the operation took several months of planning, which was necessary. This helps to get the perpetrators off the street without having an actual victim, he said. In a sense, it's more than a job. It gets personal, he said. It does for me because I have children myself. And y'all can look up the names of this to see if they are still in jail, which they probably are not. They had a $1 million bond. Roger Brian Ayers of Gunnersville, 2 counts of traveling to meet a child for an unlawful sex act, two counts of electronic solicitation of a child. Ricardo Isaias Carrillo Becerra of Fort Payne, 1 count of traveling to meet a child for an unlawful sex act, 1 count of electronic solicitation of a child. Well, the 1 million, I hope that stuck like that, and they didn't put it to the side. Juan Eduardo Paredes Rios of Atala, that is south, uh, that is right before, let me see, Gadsden in Alabama, 2 counts of traveling to meet a child for an unlawful sex act, 2 counts of electronic solicitation of a child. Mario Antonio Rocha Placencia, a fight, 1 count of traveling to meet a child for an unlawful sex act, 1 count of electronic solicitation of a child. Gerardo Aureliano of Buford, Georgia, 1 count of traveling to meet a child for an unlawful sex act, 1 count of electronic solicitation of a child. But in mind, this is in Alabama. Hudson has some words of warning to would-be traffickers. To those who wish to exploit children in the Tennessee Valley, consider this: the next time you try and chat up a child online, you just might be talking to one of our highly trained officers who will hunt you down and arrest you. But you know what? This really bothers me because the high profile cases, the ones with governors and senators and police officers and whatnot, a lot of times they are smarter than this. They will not get caught, a lot of them, in this sting operations because they already got other people in the government officials, friends and stuff that's judges and whatnot. You heard about when Charles Rogers spoke, how majority of them was in that one region, but they had other places like in Colorado and Michigan and Wisconsin. They traveled all over the United States. These big wigs, okay. You might say, well, this guy's really living in Colorado, per se, like um, John Ramsey was, but he had like 5 or 6 other houses, possibly in different regions. And if he didn't have a house in that region, there was always a friend, and the friends ended up letting them come and stay in their house for time, and sometimes they swapped houses out, such as too. That's another thing they do. So, Albertville sting operation that 6 arrests for child exploitation crimes. This was 19 hours ago. Thank you, Darren Tuggle. This is at MSN. 6 men have been arrested following a multi-day undercover operation targeting child exploitation, according to the Albertville Police Department, and that is in Marshall County in Alabama. Marshall County is also Gunnersville, Alabama, where there's Gunnersville Lake, so that's right in that region of that big swimming area and fishing area. They have a lot of boat tournaments, fishing tournaments. The operation was conducted by the Albertville Police Department in partnership with Covenant Rescue Group. During the investigation, suspects engaged in online conversations with individuals they believed to be underage. After arranging to meet for illicit purposes, they were taken into custody by law enforcement officers. The following people were arrested and charged with traveling to meet a child for an unlawful sex act and electronic solicitation of a child. Jeremy Andrew Cockrell, 24, of Wellington, Alabama. I'm not sure where that's at. Hernan Flores Ramirez, 25, of Huntsville. That is in Madison County. That is close to the Tennessee line. Charles Allen Parker, 44, at Jackson, Alabama, which is close to Gadsden, Alabama, Oneonta, Alabama. Salvador Ramirez Resendiz, 23, of Huntsville, Alabama. Dustin Shane Sims of Boaz, Alabama, and that is also in Marshall County. That if you're leaving through like Huntsville, you get to Marshall County when you go down Governor's Drive in Huntsville, and you're going down to Gunnersville, and then there's Albertville, and then there's Boaz, and that's before the Oneonta and Jacksonville area. And Roberto Salvador, 43 of Boaz, suspects were booked into the Marshall County Jail and are being held on $1 million bond each. This operation demonstrates our commitment to protecting children and pursuing justice for the most vulnerable members of our community. The Albertville Police Department stated anyone with information regarding child exploitation is urged to contact local law enforcement. Here is a picture of the sex. Okay, so I just wish it had their names right up underneath the pictures, and that will make it a lot better. Okay, I guess that is. This is Dustin Shane Sims. This is right here in the middle bottom. This one to the far right is Roberto Salvador. To the far left, it is Resendiz Ramirez. There's at the very first person right there, Jeremy Cockrell. And this is Hernan Ramirez Flores. And this is Charles Allen Parker. One over here. I'm not sure why that name's so familiar. Um, I am wondering about something. I've done so much genealogy and to different names that were connected. Some of them were connected to me, but some of them were connected to some of the other people when I done genealogy, and I just can't help but wonder if that's one of these culprits. Because it's kind of funny. I seen something on the predator hunter the other day. Uh, the predator report, and I said, so that's how that guy looks. And he was another one of that was on the family tree of my dad's. Okay, so I'm like, wow, it don't fall far from the tree, right? The apple don't fall far. Hi there, good to see you. Thanks for coming in. I hope this helps, and I want to thank my good friend Teresa for getting this information to me so I could get this out. There's so many other cases out there, it is so hard to try to get it out. But we need to do our best to bring justice for all these children that are involved and exploited. They're real ones that are being trafficked and sold. I'm glad they catch them in the sting operations, but I want more caught that rescue the children. Me and Charles, I hope that y'all will be game with us because we want to try to uh, start some kind of coalition and get it started in one area, and it's for our children so that the people will possibly have a death penalty for these actions that they do, these atrocities to our children. I'm game for that, and we're hoping to get a coalition started and a convention going. Hopefully, he'll have it done before the end of the year, and y'all be welcome to go to that child sex trafficking seminar, and I hope that y'all will. And if y'all got anybody who would like to talk, you can even bring your literature, your books to do book signings and all that. So the best thing to do is all of us to work together to get the job done because it would give us a lot more voices, a lot more outreach. Let's get this done and protect our kids. Thank you so much, and may God bless you.